It's going to be short and sweet. I just like to say a few words. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming, especially those that traveled a great distance from Vancouver and those from England. Again? And there's a few that drove about 8 or 9 hours to get here. I'm really happy everybody showed up for Chris and Christy. And Christy. And I'd like to welcome the Fox family into the McCrory family. I think it's a really good fit. And that's about it for me. But I'm watching you, Chris. I'm watching you. Alyssa, come on.
Hello. So I hope everybody's having a really good time so far. I also wanted to thank everybody that traveled from far, from close, and just everybody that's here tonight to celebrate the Chris's. So for those who don't know me, my name is Alyssa. I'm Christy's maid of honor, and I'm so honored to be toasting the two of you tonight. So I met Christy about 10 years ago at LaSalle College. And I'll admit, the first time I saw her, I kind of panicked. She walked in, sat down beside me. She had her black hair, a nose ring, ripped jeans, a wife beater. And I may have been a little bit quick to judge her. But it's okay, because I quickly learned that she too was judging me with my purple leopard cardigan and my diesel shoes. And it was a situation. I don't think on that day either of us could have ever imagined how close we would become. We were the girls going to underground metal shows on weeknights and who drove around blasting AC/DC. We went to Bonnaroo and we survived. And we also saved 2 hitchhikers from hitchhiking, evidently, across Tennessee. We were the girls who went camping and slept in my hatchback trunk. And we always had truffles, thanks to Gary and Audrey, who always made sure we were super well fed. We hung out at Clyde's on Tuesday nights, random Tuesday nights, even though we'd spent the day before together and the day before that. We were always together. I would drive pretty far on these random nights just to hang out with her because I thought she was fun to be around and smart and inspiring and funny. And I will admit, I thought she was a little bit badass. And by association, it made me a little more badass, but not quite enough, because I still had to count on her to get me out of all kinds of sticky situations, like when random guys would ask to borrow my phone and then walk off with it, or when my car broke down at 1 o'clock in the morning. She also got me out alive of I guess it was a club in North Bay, Ontario called the Zoo, which was pretty interesting. I don't know what I would have done without this girl. And as cheesy as it is to say, she was the sister that I never had. I knew it. I knew I wouldn't get through this without crying. We definitely chose spending a lot of our time together over anything else, but it's okay, because I knew that one day this tall, handsome, foxy Brit, you might even say East Grinstead's favorite minstrel, would come along and sweep her so far off her feet and beyond a love that I think she even thought could ever be possible. Early on in their relationship, Chrissy started challenging all of her friends to find one person that wouldn't love Chris. And to this day, we haven't found a single person. Yeah. basically everyone's reaction was just like, he's so nice, he's so sweet, he's got a great accent, and everybody just unanimously agreed that they were absolutely perfect together. It wouldn't be fair to say that Chris brought out the best version of Christy because she was already pretty awesome, but I definitely think that he's amplified her awesomeness. I've never seen her smile so much or laugh so hard, and her friends are pretty funny. And she's definitely never been more sweet or as lovey-dovey as she is now. I guess the best way to put it is the first time I ever heard her call you sweet, I was like, no, he's the one. You're both incredibly lucky, but also very deserving of one another and the love that you've found. I'm so incredibly happy for the two of you, and I'm happy to know that Christy's always going to be in good hands. She's always taking care of me and our friends and her family, and I'm just really happy to know that she has someone as wonderful as you to take care of her. I wish you guys an everlasting, ever-evolving, and exciting love. I wish you the most wonderful adventures and all the health and happiness in the world. I love you guys, but I love you even more together. Cheers!
Wow. So that's quite the speech to follow up there. I will try. I will try my hardest. I want to firstly say thanks to Gary and Alyssa for their speeches. Thank you for saying those few kind words. And it makes me the happiest man alive to be able to stand up here and say, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, on behalf of my wife and I. Welcome to our wedding. And thank you so much for sharing this special day with us. Seriously, the length of some of you have gone to get here really means a great deal to us, and it really wouldn't be the same without you. So thanks, everyone. Firstly, thanks to Christy's family for welcoming me into their lives. Being so far away from my family, it really means a lot that I can have family nearby, and you've shown me an incredible amount of love. I'm really grateful for that. So thank you for welcoming me into your family. I just realized, can you pass me my wine? I'm doing toasts. I haven't thought this through. That's my first ad lib. Okay. So when we started planning the wedding, we talked about having like an afternoon tea. Like a little concept wedding. But when we brought that up with the father of the bride, Gary, he quickly put us straight by saying, you're really getting people to fly 3,000 miles and you're not giving them dinner. Are you serious? So you can all thank Gary afterwards for your meals. So I want to thank my mum for all the love, advice, and support. Where is she? Oh, she's over there, behind the camera. Oh, never look in the lens, by the way. I've just done that, so. I want to say thanks, Mum, for all the love, advice, and support that you've given me since I made the move to Canada, and your continued support of our relationship. I love you dearly, and we'd both like to thank you and Auntie Helen for the massive amount of stitching you've done and cutting out of the bunting. Well, you cut it out. Yeah. Mum stitched it together, Helen helped cut it out. So thank you. The bunting queen, bow down, everyone bow down. Okay. Yeah, well done. Thank you so much. It looks amazing. So I would like to, on that note, I'd like to everyone to raise a glass with me and cheers our families without whom this day would not have been possible. So here's to family, everyone. Family. Ching ching. Oh yeah, at this point we're gonna give out a few little tokens of our gratitude. We have some presents for our folks. Maybe Alyssa can help. Or maybe not. So thank you so much, you guys. Can we maybe have some music? Just elevator music. Right. So, like, on a slightly more somber note, there are, of course, some people who we wish could have been here, but sadly no longer with us. And I think my dad would have really adored you, Christy. And I'm sure he's looking down from heaven right now. I knew it's going to get me. I know that he was looking down from heaven right now, smiling and giving us his blessing, and probably saying, "Well done, son." So, could I ask all of you to join with Christy and I in toasting those who are gone but not forgotten? So, gone but not forgotten. Great. On to the bridesmaids. Thanks for being the only people who cried more than I did. So, great. I tried to hold it in, it just didn't work. You all look absolutely fabulous, gorgeous today. Thank you for the friendship to both of us and the support you've given Christy in the run-up to the wedding. Christy has written down a few words she'd like me to say to you all on her behalf. I'm just going to... Sorry, just in here. Thanks, bitches. So... Yeah. Okay, that was a good one. It's all downhill from here. Just in case anyone else thinks we're being tight, we've already given them presents, so, you know, they have some. Groomsmen, thank you for everything you've done for us. Oz and Joel and Dave and everyone else. Oh, there's a drink that's gone over. Everyone okay? Yeah. I miss you guys all terribly, and when you're back in England, and I'm so grateful that you've all made the trip and come share our special day with us. So thank you so much, you guys. It honestly means so much. I've got to say a special thanks to Dan for making the quiz, which we just completed, and ordering everyone around today. So thanks, Dan. Cheers. Cheers, Dan. Cheers to Oz for doing the music and sorting out all the sound. Cheers. Dave and Joel for filming. Thanks so much. I'd like to thank our wonderful photographer, Sadie. I'm not actually sure if she's back yet, but yeah, Sadie. So thank you, Sadie, for everything you've done today in organising and taking the pictures. Fantastic. And also, lastly, Claire, our officiant, our fantastic officiant, who it was just a mind-blowing ceremony, and we couldn't have done it without you. And thanks for helping us write it. Thank you, Claire. Sorry, I forgot all the other people that have helped us set up the place this morning and yesterday. Everyone that put up with my OCD. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's raise your glasses and toast the beautiful bridesmaids, groomsmen, and all our friends. Down. Okay. So on to sorry, this speech is going really long. Sorry, it's just pages and pages of writing. I don't remember writing all of this. Okay. So on to a story about me and Christy. So Christy and I met online. She liked my profile. I asked her out for coffee. She countered with, "Can we talk for a bit, just to make sure you're not an axe-wielding psychopath?" So we did a bit. On our first date, it had us meeting outside a little jazz club on Park Avenue here in Montreal. I think both of us were pretty nervous, and I ended up walking straight past her, thinking the cafe was on the next block. I realised my mistake fairly quickly and rushed back to the cafe. Luckily, she was still there, but I thought I'd seen her. Sorry, I've written some really weird words here. She was still there, but she thought, "Oh my God, he's seen me," and gone, "Oh God, no." which was not the case whatsoever. Nothing could have been further from the truth. I was stunned how cute she was in real life, and I felt like a complete idiot. I remember thinking, this is a bad start. Now I'm really going to have to turn up the charm to 11. In true Christie style, she just made light of it, and the date went great, culminating with our first kiss outside Laurier Metro. The rest you can say is history. Christie, I told you in my vows how happy I am to have found you. I could keep talking and I still wouldn't come close to conveying just how much I love you. I really can't put it into words. I do have mild dyslexia. This is the greatest day of my life, and I just wanted to thank you for making me the happiest man in the world. So thank you, Christie. Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your glasses and toast my beautiful wife who takes my breath away every day. Dear Christie! Home stretch. Okay, right now that's quite enough from me. I think it gives me a great pleasure to hand over to my best man and good friend Johnny, who recently came second in London's biggest chin competition. Congrats, by the way, Johnny. There it is, the behemoth. I've known Sloop John B, as my father used to call him, for many years, and he's a smart, talented guy who I miss very much living over here. I just want to take this moment to say special thanks to him for everything he's done for me over the years and in taking on the challenge of being my best man. So thank you very much. You've done a great job in every way, apart from that rafting excursion that almost drowned half the groom's party. Stag. I've always tried to stay sober in front of Johnny so that he wouldn't have any ammunition for precisely this type of situation. Unfortunately, I think a few embarrassing moments may have slipped through the net. I'd love to tell you that he's prone to lies and wild exaggeration, but the truth is, I'm a bit of a silly so-and-so, and no one knows that better than my dear friend John Bennett. So, ladies and gentlefolk, I give you my best man.
Oh yeah, just do a little speech for the funniest man that's ever lived. Brilliant. Hi everyone, I'm John Bennett. I am the best man. So for those of you thinking, what an idiot, he's wearing the same tie as the groom, it's not an embarrassing accident. I first became friends with Chris when we were in our late teens, and we had many, many brilliant times together until our mid-20s when he moved to Canada. And after that, he was dead to me. But before that happened, Chris and I formed a bond that the physical distance between us for almost a decade has absolutely failed to break. I thought I'd give you a few examples, and there are quite a few, of how our friendship was cemented, so you can get an idea of why I call this absolutely brilliantly funny, dedicated, creative, impulsive, and stupid man my best friend. So I mentioned Chris's dedication, and this was revealed to me in the very act of us becoming friends. Those of you who remember a world before mobile phones may also remember the battle for the landline that went on in every household each evening. Now, in our house, for a short period in 1997, the landline was pretty much permanently engaged, and that was down to the man that you see sitting here before you today. Chris waged a ruthless and dedicated telemarketing campaign with the sole aim, it seemed, of making me his friend. After months of enduring this telephonic siege, I relented and invited Chris round. Now, in my memory, Chris arrived round at my house between the point where I invited him round and the point I put down the receiver to the phone. I don't know how he did that. So I soon learned that there was an ulterior motive to Chris's campaign of friendship, and he actually wanted me to show him how to play the guitar. In the first couple of visits, I taught him a handful of chords, and within about 3 weeks, he was much, much better than me at the guitar. And after that, he was dead to me. No, it's fine. It's fine. I've got over it. So anyway, if that were the case, I wouldn't be standing before you today, but of course I am. So let me take you back to when we first met. In the course of our young courtship, Chris and I formed a band. And we proceeded to take the East Grinstead music scene by absolute storm. Before very long, we were headlining major venues in villages like Ashers Wood, and even as far away as Forest Row, which I know Canadian people here won't know that, but it's actually over 6 miles away from East Grinstead if you take the scenic route. So it just gives you an idea of the sort of broad sort of appeal we had as a band. The culmination of our musical career was an acoustic set at the world-renowned Checker Meads Arts Centre, which I don't really need to describe because obviously you all know where it is. Now, at this, we completely stole the show from lesser bands like Stroppy, led by East Grinstead's lead Bob Dylan apologist and chief arrogant guitar player Dan Frost. But how nice that Dan didn't hold a grudge from that humiliation and is still able to hang out with us today despite the embarrassing discrepancy in talent. Hi, Dan. All right. So from that time on, and probably well before, music completely took over Chris's life. In fact, 2 other people over from England today have been in bands with Chris, Danny and Oz and Danny. And now, having looked up from the page, I've completely lost my place, so bear with me. Great, got it. I memorised this, of course. I know he's toured Canada and parts of Europe and recorded several albums with Folly and the Hunter since, but I still think nothing in the canon of his work beats the sheer teenage angst and raw power of our breakthrough hit, Nagging Woman. Woman, she wants the best. No. Now, there were many times during that year or so that we were in a band together that Chris had me crying with laughter, which brings me on to another of his stand-up qualities. He really is the funniest person I've ever met. In fact, his humour almost changed the course of my life completely. I was in Chris's A-level French class before he changed schools and moved to a different school. A-levels are the exams that you take in England before you go to university. When Chris left, my teacher took me aside and said, "Je suis content qu'il soit parti parce que tu aurais raté tes examens s'il était resté." And I said, "You what?" And she said, "I'm glad he left because you would have failed your exams had he stayed." It's impossible to adequately describe Chris's humour. I know a lot of you here will know it. I'll have a go. For me, it's a mixture of zany, slapstick. There's a bit of satire in there, but sometimes without actually knowing what he's satirising. And he's always self-deprecating, which is one of the most lovely things about him. I want to give you a few of the times, example of a few of the times that he's really made me laugh. When I went away to university at 18, Chris stayed in East Grinstead and went about increasing the gulf between us in our guitar playing ability, obsessively fishing and playing basketball with the few people in England who actually like that sport. Despite this strict regimen of beats, bass and basketball, he still, I quite like that one. He still found time to send me letters which occasionally made me wonder if I should have him committed. I would read these out to my new university friends who politely smiled as I collapsed, crying with laughter. So at the risk of repeating that scene here today, I'll just give you a few of the titles of the stories and poems that he wrote within those letters. Get ready. There was The Adventures of Dr. Death, the Llama Charmer. And also, The Story of Boy, Rumpelstiltskin's brother, and a bag of cake. And the minimalist, but no less hilarious, Ob. Ob is an absolute classic. I've still got it. Yeah. Now, these letters were supplemented with almost daily calls where I would again experience the sensation of blocking the phone line as hundreds of students queued up behind me to call their parents, and Chris and I made up stupid poems and tried to guess the number the other person was thinking of between 1 and 100. Oh, those crazy, out-of-control uni years. After university, I went to France, and by then Chris had progressed to a full-time job at a shipping company in Gatwick, an airport in England. When I needed a break from my job, I would check my emails to find Chris's latest missive waiting for me. One time I received a photo of a pair of shoes on the office printer with a sign next to it saying, "Do not use, man swallowed whole." God. Once it was a manic text about how he had spent an hour jumping off his office chair to see how close he could get his head to the ceiling. It was always a miracle to me, actually, that Chris wasn't sacked. The closest he came to this was his stint as a postman with Her Majesty's Royal Mail. Now, having never known Chris as an early starter, I was pretty surprised to find him take a job that meant he had to get up at 4 a.m. every day. That, among other aspects of the role, rapidly proved Chris's undoing, actually. Things started to go wrong for Chris very early on in his delivery career, when he posted a huge bundle of letters through the door of the house whose address was on the top of the pile. Now, he realised with heart-stopping speed that that was actually the wodge of letters for the entire street, and he posted it through the first door. What made it even better was the people whose house he posted it through were on holiday, so everyone in the street didn't get their mail for ages. From there, things spiralled. In his first outing in a postal van, Chris backed enthusiastically into a concrete pillar. His attempt to emulate his colleagues who scooted their delivery bicycles along while standing on one pedal ended pretty badly on one of the town's main streets when he skidded on some black ice and experienced the odd sensation of being helped up by a group of elderly women. The final straw, because in his job he had to sort post, so the final straw came when Chris fell asleep when sorting post with his hand in the pigeonhole like this. At this, they offered him a choice, either resign or be sacked, and Chris did the honourable thing. I'm telling you all of this for a couple of reasons. Firstly, as best man, it's kind of my duty to take the mick out of Chris a little bit. But secondly, I think it's a really good illustration that... I just looked at the camera. We'll cut that bit out. It's a good illustration of how Chris's sort of zany and creative and crazy mind was not really meant to lead a conventional path in life, as far as I'm concerned. His impulsiveness was another sign of this. Now, there was a period in Chris's life when neither his musical instruments nor even his clothing was safe from this level of impulsiveness. In his childhood, it actually manifested itself as overexcitement. Now, Dave, who's standing just here, told me that as kids, they used to go to theme parks a lot, and every single time, Chris got so overexcited that he vomited in the back of the car. I've got a few examples of this trait in adult life. Now, despite having the physique of a steroid-addicted cage fighter, Chris is one of the most gentle people I know. However, I've seen him drop a dumbbell through a guitar, smash a ukulele on an amplifier, and utterly obliterate a tambourine. He's also thrown a guitar across a room, snapping its neck, and another one out of a window. Personal items and clothing have not escaped his wrath either. I've seen him drop kick a rain mat onto a roof and even throw his mobile phone down the road, only to regret it as soon as it left his hand and run after it. It smashed on the floor directly in front of him. Actually, talking of decisions that you immediately regret, Christy, I think we're still in time for an annulment if you're... So all of this has led him here to Christy, and I want to end, not all of that, like other stuff as well, that's not everything he's ever done, but some other things. So I want to end my rambling by recognising what a remarkable, loving, and absolutely brilliant couple these two are. Thanks. To Christy, I want to propose my first toast. Chrissy, oh wow, I'm already starting to cry. I haven't even started. Chrissy, my mate Chris left a long time ago, and I miss him every day, and I miss the times we had together. But I am so pleased that he's found someone like you, someone that is so creative and caring and lovely and hilarious and just beautiful in every sense of the word. So thank you so much for choosing my Chris. My Chris! Wow. Wow. And that is on film, so brilliant. Brilliant. Choosing your Chris and looking after him so well. I might leave it there. Okay. I'm not leaving it there. Well, a bit. So please, just join me in a toast to the beautiful bride. We're almost there. Chris and I don't get to spend much time together, simply hanging out anymore. And when I got married just over 2 years ago, Chris came along and we had some really good chats. He talked about nothing but Christy. And I could see at that very early stage in their relationship, and despite all his caveats that this is early days, that she was in deep trouble and that he was very much in love. She seemed pretty keen on him too, and I wonder whether it was his distinctly dangerous username on the dating website the two met on that attracted her. The racy folk in time rather suggested he was only out for one thing. Now, I'm not surprised that he was immediately drawn to Christie's rather inventive and saucy username R1234567 which gave her a mysterious, sexy robot vibe. It was quickly clear how perfectly they fitted together, with their artistic focus and quirky senses of humour. And I think, although they didn't know it at the time, Folk in Time and R1234567 were already well on their way to falling in love. Then Chris called me one Saturday afternoon and told me that they had just become engaged. And I have to admit, I did shed a tear at that amazing news. And after that, he was dead to me. That's the last one. So I think these two are absolutely perfect for each other. They behave together in a way that I've never seen Chris behave with anyone. It's so clear that they are so deeply in love, and I'm just so happy that although we all miss you in England, that you have found the perfect person here to live your life with, and so proud of you, mate. So well done. So all it remains for me to do is to toast that happy couple, and then we can probably start dancing, Dave. So please be upstanding and join me in a final toast to the bride and groom.